Once, long ago, in the days when trees could talk and pigs could fly, TransPennine Express used to offer from time to time ultra-cheap tickets to enable people like me to explore their network. In recent years, as we all know, their history has been regrettable to say the least. But things must be looking up. In January, they offered a limited number of £1 tickets, and I jumped at the chance. I aimed for Selby, but couldn't find anything. However, I managed a £1 fare from Carlisle to Manchester, another from Manchester to Selby, and corresponding returns, all on the same day. Now, what's going on here? Like my local station Dumfries, new lifts are being installed so that disabled people can access the footbridge. Unlike Dumfries, a temporary footbridge has been erected here at the northern end of the platforms. There has long been a pedestrian crossing with access permitted by a white light displayed only when no trains are in the vicinity.
TransPennine Express operates an annual fare scheme. If you board a train from this station when ticket buying facilities are available and you cannot produce a valid ticket, you may be charged an annual fare.
Houses, Gilberdine, Brum, Hull, Cottingham, Beverley, Hutton-Cranswick, Driffield, Napperton and Bridlington. This train has 2 carriages.
The most significant railway feature at Selby is the swing bridge over the River Ouse. We'll see more of it later. The weathermen had forecast 0% chance of rain for Selby today. Needless to say, they got it wrong. My journey had been sunny all the way from Carlisle until just before arriving here at Selby. The station was running with water and it continued to drizzle, rendering aerial filming impossible. The signal is set for the train to take the junction to the east, the line to Leeds and beyond, the route from which I arrived. The left-hand signal controls the Bay Platform 3, used by a handful of early morning trains which terminate here. We see clearly how this was a 4-track station. Until 1983, this was the East Coast Main Line. But in that year, a new route was built between Doncaster and York because of possible subsidence from the Selby coalfield.
Platform 2 from the 12:24.
I can't come to Selby without getting some footage of the swing bridge, despite the drizzle preventing me from getting the film I really want. According to Google, the bridge last opened in 2019. An attempt to open it in 2021 failed. Legally, the railway must always give way to river traffic, but it looks as though that's not going to be much of a problem these days. Real-time trains shows Hull trains operate 8 through services to London King's Cross during the day. Not bad for a town situated off the main line. I was up at 3:30 this morning, on a train out of Dumfries at 6 a.m. and spent 6 hours travelling to get here. The drizzle has eased and there's even some sunshine showing out to the west. Let's go for it and see if I can capture the film I set out for. Drax Power Station is visible to the east. Until a few years ago, this produced a heavy coal traffic over my local Glasgow and South Western Railway and across the Shetland-Carlisle line. Sadly now gone in the pursuit of a greener energy supply. In the heyday of the steam railway in the 1930s, we would have seen a steady stream of Mr. Grassley's A3 and A4 Pacifics hauling the famous named trains of the day through the station, across the bridge, and away to the north along a now lifted track. Today, even the London trains are diesel multiple units. Regular destinations other than London are Hull, Bridlington, York, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Bradford and Halifax. As we look down on the station and the workers toiling away on the new footbridge, we get a glimpse of the rather unprepossessing present entrance. And now from the air, we see the old East Coast main line, little used today, apart from Hull Trains London services and occasional freight workings. Here comes the 11:48 from King's Cross to Hull, running some 10 minutes behind schedule. A northern service from Hull to Halifax departs from platform 2 and takes the eastbound line at the junction. The inevitable speed restrictions imposed by the rail joints on joining and departing the bridge, followed by the double bend to the north, must have been infuriating for drivers of top-link express trains back in the 1930s and later in the 1950s as the railway began to recover from the effects of the Second World War. So the opening of the 1983 deviation, the first line in Britain built for 125 miles per hour running, must have come as a welcome relief. After my trip south through the Cumbrian mountains and then across the Pennines, this part of the world is extremely flat. On my last visit to Selby in 2021, I visited the Abbey, and I'm anxious to explore a particularly interesting pub today, so we'll give this magnificent building a miss. The road bridge also had to open for river traffic, but goodness only knows when it last did so. Although Selby is probably not very high on the list of Yorkshire's must-visit spots, there's a great deal of history here. How many railway enthusiasts are aware that Selby boasted the county's first ever railway station? This is the pub that I was keen to visit for its unusual interiors. Sadly, it had run out of real ale, and so I found myself enjoying a pint in the uniquely uninspiring local Wetherspoons. But excellent ale. Obviously, I spent a lot of time on TransPennine trains today, and I like them. I love the big picture windows, the relative amount of space when compared to certain other operators, and unlike some people, I don't find their seats uncomfortable. I nearly came to grief on my homeward journey, as my train to Manchester was delayed by youths on the track. We arrived in Victoria Station with only a short time to make my way on foot with a heavy backpack to Oxford Road Station, a mile or so away. I made it, but only just.